Okay, so yesterday, this is the PowerPoint we did yesterday. So it has your clues for that logic grid problem. Was anyone absent yesterday that did not get that grid? I think everyone was here. Okay, when is this due? Tomorrow. Okay, so I'll give you a bunch of time today to work on this. Now, when you're finished, done, complete, let's say you get it done today, because I know some people are on a roll. They're really going for it. Some people are like, yeah, I wasn't getting very far. That's fine. You just got to start putting things together. Like this one says, Phil doesn't sled for Canada or Romania. So that means Betsy doesn't either. That was his partner. Connie's German. So that means, think about Phil and Betsy, they're not German. So you can start marking those off. You can figure out that Germany isn't green. So you can mark that off in the little country color chart area. Ted and his partner have the white sled. And they're not from Germany. So he wasn't from, he wasn't with Connie. So now you can figure out that Germany isn't white. So those are like little things. You can start putting these all together. And you have to mix all the clues. The big thing is you have to use the entire chart, even including that little section where it had just the countries and the colors like mixing. You have to use both of those because it will eventually tell you which countries, which color, and then you'll figure out which people are from those countries because you'll already figure out what color sled they're in. There's big things. Remember, on that chart, I'm gonna pop that up here in a second. On that chart. Let me pop up the logic grid here. Okay, so in the logic grid, remember, every row here has to have one mark. So what I mean by that is like Phil and Betsy were partners, right? So I don't know how you're marking it, but there has to be one pair, and so then all the others wouldn't work. And same with the columns. Each column needs to have, a check, and so none of the others can have it in that little grid, that little box. And that's what you'll start to figure out is when you start doing like colors and countries, and you start marking, okay, like Betsy's in green, well, she can't be any of the other colors, and none of the other women can be the green color. You can start to fill out the chart super, super quick, because you'll start to narrow down certain things. Like you figured out what Ted was in the white sled. So find Ted, go down, mark white, and then cross off all the other guys for white and cross off all the other colors for Ted because he can't be any of the other colors. There's like little things like that, like the grid fills in super quickly. But then you got to start to put in this one. This is the one that I was watching yesterday. I was kind of looking around at kind of seeing what people did. A lot of people were ignoring this grid. They just were ignoring it completely. I had one person, like, they thought they were done, and they hadn't, like, marked who is who and what country they're from, and they didn't even have anything in here. That's almost borderline impossible to fill out the rest of this grid, because you had to know which country and colors those sleds were from. There were some clues, like, I figured out from just using this part, by who was in what country, like what male was in what country, because I figured out what color sled they were. And so that was a big deal. So try to use everything that you can. Mark it off. Remember, the males go down. They have to be with one female. These are the countries for the males. The colors of the sleds for the males are down here. These are the female boxes over here, and then this is the country and colors area. When you're finished, on the back of it, I want you to write the pairs. So like, for instance, on the back page of this, you're already writing, Phil and Betsy. You're gonna write, they're in the green sled, and they're in, blank country. It didn't even say what country they're in, so they're in a certain blank country. So that's the first pairing that you had. Maybe that was the first one that you found. Then number 2, you can write down the next pair. Just make sure when you're done, finished, complete, and you think you have the solution, the first thing you should do is find your pairs, your colors or countries, right? And go to those nine rules that I told you, those clues, and double check them with the clues. Because I had somebody in 5th period, they thought they got done. They were doing it super fast. And they said, hey, Ward, I'm done. And I said, hey, can I just see one of your pairs? And and they're like, okay. And so they wrote one of their pairs on the back. They wrote their pair, and it failed like 3 of the rules that were on the clues I gave you. Like, there was a pairing that literally said they couldn't be paired together because one was from US and the other one wasn't from the US. And so it was like, you can't have that. That one already failed. And so they had to like almost start completely over because they were just filling it in too quickly. They weren't looking at the clues. You have enough clues. There is like, even the smallest clue is actually super important. So, all right, questions with that? Oh yeah, so if you get done, finish, complete, I can provide you with a sudoku, or what I can try to do is print off another one of them. You can try a different one. I have a lot of them, so I'll just have to like print it out for you and stuff. So yeah, if you want another one, I have a website that has tons of them. So, all right, questions with kind of the goals today. Okay, I'm gonna put the clues back up here. Let them kind of put on rotate. I think yesterday you guys received an email from me, probably from Google Classroom, that had the PowerPoint on it and the grid, correct? And if you didn't get it, it's probably in your Google Classroom, go check it. It was also in, I think it drops into your Google Drive, because I know like if you're at home, it's nice to see the PowerPoint. I think I even added it to the website, so you could just go to the website today and just kind of look at that, and it'll actually put it on repeat. So you don't even need to go to your Google Drive if you don't want to. But I want this done, so I'm gonna give you time to work. If you get done, I have sudokus for you if you want to try one of those, because that's a different skill set. And then tomorrow we're going to probably look at our first assignment of the week other than this one. We'll look at an actual assignment tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a little bit different. Still be a challenge, but that'll be tomorrow. Okay? All right, I'm going to let training loose. I'll put this thing on repeat.